He used to be pretty witchy, but then too many rides on the horse got him hooked in instantly. 'Cause now he's got a monkey, can't fight it. It's on his back, he can't deny it. He found the dragon that fights a hole in his arm and neck. Monkey on his back. Dirty monkey on his back. Dirty monkey. The streets of the city. She works out on the corner every night, gives the money up to Willie. You see her man's big Willie, and when he met her she was pretty, but he gave her a hammer that she didn't want. That's a pity, 'cause now she's got a monkey, can't fight it. She gotta walk the streets and buy it dirty. She found the dragon that bites a hole in her neck. Monkey on her back. Dirty monkey on her back. Dirty monkey.
This bud's for you.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Taking a look outside real quick. The Q-95 Quiet Riot concert forecast. Partly sunny for the rest of the afternoon. Then tonight is going to be rock and roll, variably cloudy, low down around 33. Right now it is 41. Loose here in the afternoon. And let's hit the voice again one more. Give people one more.
Hey, I think everybody's going to get crazy tonight.
No doubt, man. If you haven't figured it out by now, tell you what, we're going to tell you who it is. We're talking with Kevin DuBrow, the lead throat. With Quiet Riot. Hey, welcome to Indianapolis, man.
Nice to be here, Robin. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing okay. Is this your first time in Indy?
Yes, it is.
All right. You guys are going to have a hellacious crowd tonight. We talked to the people down at Market Square Arena, and tickets are still going like crazy. It may be a sellout. They don't know, but it looks real.
I heard it's getting very close, right?
It's getting close, yes.
From what I understand, originally it was supposed to be just half the hall they were going to sell, and then it seems like there was enough headbangers in Indianapolis to break the whole thing on open.
Well, you guys are kind of leading the headbanger craze these days. They want to see the top. You know, this album, Metal Health, has been a long time coming for you guys. I remember when it first came out in the spring,
right,
and everybody kind of went,
another album, stick in the file.
Yeah, rock, okay, it's heavy metal, big deal. And then all of a sudden, come on, feel the noise. Right. And the rest is pretty much rock and roll history. Has the album hit #1 yet?
Number 2.
You got Synchronicity up on
Synchronicity #1. In a certain sense, I mean, it's hard to prove, but we should have been #1. There's all these funny political things that go on in the business.
Okay, number 2 always says that about #1, though, right?
Yes. Okay, you could say that. You could actually say that. And I'm sure the police are still saying, "Quiet who?" Acting like they don't know who we are.
Quado.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quiet Ryan?
Yeah. Now, you've been on...
let's keep our fingers crossed for next week.
There's always next week.
There's always next week.
There's always next week. All right. Well, What?
Got to give Casey Kasem something to talk about. And now the #1 record.
Casey who? No, you've been on the road with Black Sabbath now for the past couple of weeks, and
Yeah.
this is just one of a few dates where you're going to be the quote unquote headlining act.
Right. We do sporadic dates on the head when we're opening for another act. On their days off, we do headlining spots.
So Sabbath has a day off today, so Quiet Riot doesn't.
Sabbath takes a few days off here and there.
So Quiet Riot doesn't take the day off. Hey,
Days off. You know what you do on days off?
what do you do on days off?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You either do a whole lot of nothing or a whole lot of drinking and taking of consumable substances that make your next day's show a little strange.
Speaking of strange, you guys have a strange album cover. I'm sorry,
We are strange people.
I've talked to you for 10 minutes, and that was the first impression I got from you. Absolutely. Without a doubt. Anyway, from the album that has the weird cover, the weird band Quiet Riot, this is the title track, Metal Health. Bang your head, Q-95.
Driver, Mama says that I never mind her. Got no brains, I'm insane. The teacher says that I'm one big pain. I'm like a laser, string eraser. I got a mouth like an alligator. I want it louder, more power. I'm gonna rock it till it strikes the hour. Bang your head. Metal of the tribe, you mad. Bang your head.
Q-95, mental health, drive you crazy. So, yeah, why the heck, you know? Go ahead, bang your head a couple times. It's the weekend, you know. And the lead screeching on that track, you're listening to him, right? We're talking with him right now, Kevin DuBrow.
That's right.
You prefer lead throat to lead vocals, don't you? Because I've heard you in other interviews, etc., etc.
Lead throat.
Lead throat.
Lead throat.
With Quiet Riot.
That's me, yeah.
They're going to be downtown, of course, tonight at Market Square. Special guest is Nazareth.
Yeah, great band they were. We just played with them in London, Ontario about 2 weeks ago. We opened for them. And I'll tell you, I've always been a Nazareth fan, and to watch them and hear them, they're so amazing. I mean, their singer Dan McGafferty has been one of my influences. And when they did Love Hurts, myself and our manager Warren, we sat there and we got goosebumps. Like, oh my God, Love Hurts. It's like, oh Jesus. As I'm thinking to myself, Dan, don't do it to me tonight.
Of course, Nazareth's out with a new album, Sound Elixir. I'm sure they're going to be doing some stuff from that.
Notice.
And you got a Nazareth shirt on underneath your kamikaze. All right, I love it. All right. Well, you guys.
We pay homage to the big boys.
Oh man, you guys have been paying your dues for a long time now. Granted, most people think of Quiet Riot as a new band, but truth is, you guys.
Good thing keeps us fresh.
You guys have been around for a long time in one form or another.
Or nothing. We don't want to say how long, do we?
75.
Yeah, you got it.
75. You guys started out. Now, it wasn't this lineup that you've got now, though.
No,
right?
It wasn't this lineup at all. The only original member from that lineup is myself.
Okay.
The original, obviously, everyone knows this. The group was originally started by Randy Rhoads.
Right, who later went on to tour with Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, he went to play with Batman for a couple of years, and then was killed in a plane crash. And then what we did was we had a group called DuBrow, which was the group that I formed after Quiet Riot broke up.
Original name. Now, that was in 80 when DuBrow formed, right?
DuBrow formed in 80, went to the end of 82, 3 years. And what actually, DuBrow never broke up. It just got a record deal on CBS. And as we were recording the DuBrow Mental Health album, Rudy Sarzo rejoined the group. And it was a bit ridiculous to call the band DuBrow with Rudy Sarzo in the band. So what we did was we had to come up with a group name, and none better than Quiet Riot.
Sure, sounds good.
Yeah, so basically it's two totally different groups with the same name.
Okay, of course, you take care of all the singing. Rudy's on the bass, and then you got your guitar man, Carlos
Cavazzo.
And then your
Cranking
drummer.
Carlos Cavazzo.
Cranking Carlos, and then keeping the beat, keeping it steady, the rock behind you
That's
guys
right,
on the
the
drums.
animal, Frankie Bonelli.
Yeah.
Known as Boom Boom, Rocco, and Rollo. Drummers are known for being the crazy ones in the group. Ours is an exception. He's not crazy. He's totally out of his mind. They're usually crazy. He's completely out there.
And after talking to you, that's saying something. That really is. That's
Let me tell
something.
you think I'm out there? Oh, Bonelli, he's in the ozone.
I'm looking forward to this show tonight. I tell you, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun, as a matter of fact. You guys came out of Southern California.
Right.
So,
Probably never to return at this point, but
how long did you inhale the smog? Was just curious. I was just
how long did we Van Hale the smog?
And by the way, if you've heard a rumor that Kevin DuBrow is dead,
not true. That's
not
been
true.
A nasty rumor that's been going around lately. I've had to make quite a few phone calls to deny it. Supposedly, I got killed in some auto crash in Northern California, and then that spread over to St. Louis, and I had to make some calls there. But that's probably all the guys that used to play with me in DuBrow that I fired that are just wishful thinking.
Let's talk about "Come On Feel the Noise" for a minute.
Let's talk about "Come On Feel the Noise."
Let's talk about. I mean, this is the one that made. This is the one that made.
Let's talk about "Come On Feel the Gonies."
Well, let's talk about "Come On Feel the Noise."
Okay.
Robin's
his eyes going. Oh, did he actually say
he
that?
really said that. Yes, he did. But that's okay because this is Q-95. We can get away with stuff like that every once in a while. No, "Come On Feel the Noise" wasn't your idea to record.
No, it was Spencer Proffers.
Who is the producer?
The producer, and he's the guy
Health.
that got assigned to Pasha and then therefore to CBS as well.
Had anybody in the band heard the song before you guys did it?
No. I knew of the song because I had a live tape of it from an old in-concert TV show they did, but none of us heard the original record. And as a matter of fact...
Have you yet heard the original?
I heard it 3 days ago in Rochester, and I have it at the hotel on tape. And
No kidding.
Naughty and Jim, those guys wrote the song I Slayed. I love you guys, but you did a lousy version of the song, man. I'll tell you, if I would have heard the original, we would never have done it because it's bad.
So what, you guys were in the studio and Spencer just said...
Well, Spencer wanted to do it a long time before we recorded it, and we sort of went, we don't want to do any cover tunes, whatever. And so we avoided rehearsing it or even bothering with it. Carlos learned the chord pattern off the tape I had, and the lyric sheet was written down for me. We went in the studio, and it was almost impossible to record because Frankie and I kept making jokes at each other. So what happened was Spencer arranged it in the studio with Frankie. They recorded it, and we were going to just play it as bad as we possibly could so it wouldn't make the record. And it ended up turning out really, really well. And so we never played it live before we recorded. That's the third take, what you hear. That's the third time we ever played the song on the record.
Oh, my gosh.
And that was the first time I ever sang it. I read all the lyrics when you hear it on the record. That's me reading it.
You're reading it off a lyric sheet?
I'm reading off a lyric sheet.
No, oh, man.
And as a matter of fact, the second line of the second verse is wrong because I heard Slade's version a couple days ago, and he says something else. Now, I don't know what he says, but it's wrong. To be honest with you, Naughty Holder, I don't think he cares because from what I understand, I talked to somebody who saw him in London. Every week is, have you got the new billboards from Los Angeles yet? I mean, he's just counting his money all the way to the bank.
So it took you guys... took a while to get you guys to really sit down and take this song seriously then.
It took us about 10 minutes because Spencer threatened to throw me out of the studio if I didn't stop laughing. But see, we've had to actually change the way we play it live a bit. We've sort of made it, on the album it's more of Spencer's way, and live I could say it's more Quiet Riot's way. We do more of a Led Zeppelin arrangement to it live.
And you're going to do a 35-minute version of it tonight.
No, we're not. What we do live is we have the audience sing a good portion of it. And the more they know the song, the more it saves my voice. Actually, it just happens to be one of those songs that everybody likes to sing live, and I get them to sing it so loud that their throats bleed.
Great. Well, we're going to give them...
And I'll tell you, I'm very happy with the way it turned out.
Well, I'll tell you, we're going to give them a chance to practice right now.
All right.
Here we go. Come on, feel the noise. Q-95.
Come on, feel the noise. Girls, rock your boys. We'll get wild, wild, wild. Wild, wild, wild. So you think I got an evil mind? I tell you, honey, I don't know why. I don't know why.
Q-95, come on, feel the noise. Quiet Riot, of course, going to be downtown at Market Square Arena. Loose here in the afternoon, talking with lead throat Kevin DuBrow. Been getting some interesting phone calls here. People
Yeah, very
calling
good
in.
phone calls.
Yeah, was talking to one guy here who was signing up for your road crew. and he
wasn't quite sure how to pass the initiation.
That's for sure, but you may get a surprise tonight, you know. But what I was going to ask was...
It's a surprise every night.
He mentioned that he was unemployed at the present time, and you said you were too.
This is not work, man. This is a gas. This is great fun. If it was work, I wouldn't be doing it. You know, I hear all these big-time rock and roll bands, which I guess people now are considering us to be a big-time rock and roll band, which to me is kind of funny. But I hear these big-time rock and roll bands complain and bitch and whine about how long they're on the road and how to do this and do that. Well, there's a million club groups all over the nation that would be loved to be taking their place and wouldn't complain as much as a lot of groups I read about saying, oh, the road is so tough. Hey, the road is great.
Of course, you guys go for it, too. You don't... A lot of bands, you know, they go out and they do their show, and then they're off. They're gone.
Yeah.
And you never hear from them again until the next show further on down. You guys are out all over the place going nuts.
Yeah. We get involved in everything we do, and we keep talking to people. I mean, for an example, day before yesterday, we called the retailers who actually sell our records. You know, people don't know the ins and outs in the business. I'm not going to sit here and give a business lecture to anybody, but the reason that certain stores have a lot of our records is because the retailers send them out there, and we made a couple calls to say to see people that our album just went over 2 million copies. Thank you for supporting Quiet Riot, because without you, we wouldn't have the success.
It would not be possible.
Yeah, we try to get involved in all aspects of what go on. Instead of being little puppets and saying, oh, we made a lot of money, we did it all on our own.
Yeah. You've been on the road for a long time.
8 months.
8 months. You're talking about over 200 dates then, right?
We'll probably play 220 dates by the end of the year.
My gosh.
A couple guys in the band are thinking about they want to stop after the first. This guy in the band, he don't want to stop. We ain't going to stop.
Go, and go. But, I mean, surely, somewhere along the line...
Please don't be Shirley.
Where's the duck, huh? What do you do to get away from it all? Surely you need some time off. You know, I mean, what do you guys do to get it away? I mean...
Well, we haven't had any time to get away from it yet. What we're doing is, at the beginning of December, we're going to Puerto Rico for a week. And we happen to be doing one gig. It's so funny. Even when we're vacationing, we're doing a gig at Roberto Clemente Stadium, which is huge. But we're going to be there for a week.
The opening act for Menudo, right?
Hudo?
Hudo.
Is that the amount of time their success is going to last?
So,
anyways.
Keep going, man. I'm sorry I said anything. Jeez.
Well, if you think about it, they keep changing members every time somebody in the band's voice changes. That's a fact. That's not something I made up. So Menudo is an accurate account of the longevity each guy in that band's going to have with the group.
Anyway, you're going to be in Puerto Rico. You're going to be in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico for a week, getting R&R and getting some tans. And then from Puerto Rico, we go to England with Judas Priest.
And then you're going to come back here and finish up your American tour then, right?
Well, we're not going to quite finish it up. It keeps going. What we're doing is we're doing a Christmas run. We're doing headlining shows. For the first time, we've actually taken out the big production. We're going to be playing, what is it? Dayton, Ohio, St. Louis, Louisville, Huntsville, Alabama, and we're New Year's Eve, Detroit, Cobo Hall.
That should be a rocking good time up there.
Yeah. And then 2 weeks off, and then we're going to go for another month. And then one of these days,
fun on the road.
We're going to have to do another album.
I take it the album making process is real.
I don't enjoy it.
It's a drag for you, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we're not like Fleetwood Mac. We don't like to sit there and spend $220 an hour to do every possible substance we can find, and then release an album that takes a year that nobody buys.
Okay. You said
I talked about slagging everybody. You know why I slag everybody now? Because they're going to slag us big time next year anyway. So might as well get it while I can.
Well, it's already happening. What do you say to the critics? I mean, you guys have been panned pretty big time by the critics.
Panned?
Haven't you?
No. We've been extremely. I've got a.
I've read some unfavorable reviews.
Give me some. Show them to me.
If I had them, I would, but I don't.
Yeah, what have they said?
I can't even recall now. I'm talking about, when they give the star ratings, 1 star, 2 star.
Well, the only people who give metal that I've read great reviews, especially in our live show. To be honest with you, I've read very, very few unfavorable reviews. Maybe that somebody in our business organization just isn't showing them to me.
Yeah, okay.
But the people who usually give us bad write-ups are those people who are so into new wave and think that is the only thing, and that what we are doing is dinosaur. Well, I got news for them. We are the new wave. And there's a reviewer in LA named Robert Hilburn who slags anything that he feels doesn't have a sociological effect on America's youth, which is a total bunch of nonsense, because rock and roll is not meant to have sociological effect. It's meant to have entertaining effect.
Absolutely.
So when they say mental health is a bunch of garbage, that means that's their opinion. But critics are supposed to represent the audience, not their own little ridiculous opinions.
Okay. Well, what do you think about the metal scene as a whole? Metal is taken off, and you guys are right at the crest of it. You guys, Def Leppard.
Def Leppard and us it's pretty much us and Def Leppard of the new groups. What do I think of the metal scene?
Yeah. What's
Well, obviously I like us.
Yeah.
And I really like Def Leppard a lot.
Mm-hmm.
With any new trend, you're going to have to weed out the junk from the good stuff. I think when New Wave was really popular during its time, they signed every lousy New Wave band in the world, and some of them survived, like the Police, who are not considered New Wave anymore, or the Motels, or the Talking Heads, who are just more bands, But in our case, it's still, I hear groups, there's no really point in naming names of the new wave groups that I think are a load of rubbish, but there's quite a few of them out there. And especially the ones that go out there with lousy records and just put on a bunch of ridiculous clothing and stupid makeup and talk about going to hell and the devil and shouting at him and stuff.
I think I know who you're talking about. I think I know. But you think it's just like the new wave / punk business, it's going to weed itself out?
It's going to weed, the good will weed itself out of the bad.
I noticed in an interview...
And the music has to stand above and beyond the image and anything else.
Exactly. In an interview that you did, it was printed here in the Indianapolis News over the weekend, the one you did with Zach Duncan. I remember you mentioned that you don't want to give here. Oh, you haven't read it yet?
No, I haven't read it yet.
Oh man, yeah, you're right here. Tell you what, it's right there on the front page. See? Okay, yeah, just a quiet ride.
Oh, I see. Just a quiet ride.
Oh,
okay.
you guys are back here. It's a lousy picture of you, man. It's a lousy picture of the band. But anyway,
is it the same lousy picture that we tried to kill CBS for using anymore?
There, take a look at it. But no.
Oh, that's me. Funny, I look just like Michael Jackson.
No, that's not you.
Oh, it's not.
That's not you. You're on the inside. It's continued on the inside.
Go ahead.
But what I was going to say is you mentioned that.
Oh, that is a lousy picture.
You don't want to. Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's horrible. That really is. But anyway, you mentioned that you don't want to make too much of a deal out of this big new wave explosion, because sooner or later it is going to just.
You mean new wave of heavy metal?
New wave of metal explosion.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No, I don't, because with anything that's the new wave trend, there tends to be a backlash in anything that's the new trend, and all it does is end up hurting everybody. If you just leave it that music is music, and there's room, I think especially nowadays, someone who would buy a Quiet Riot album can also buy a Lionel Richie album. Mm-hmm. I myself, now all the Quiet Riot fans will probably slag me and want to cut my head off for saying this, I just bought a Hall & Oates album. He saw it. Now, not that that's the kind of music I ever want to play, but let me tell you, I go to bed listening to Back in Black. Okay?
Oh, jeez.
Now, I don't always sleep real good. Sometimes I got to go to bed listening to Hall & Oates. But I also went to bed last night listening to The Who Live at Leeds, which to me, that album is more heavy metal than anything that any of us or the Priests or the Maidens of the world could ever hope to do. And that, I mean, to me, The Who, the old Who stuff makes Quiet Riot sound like John Denver. That's how much of a metal band The Who were in their heyday.
You listen to a lot of The Who?
I love The Who.
Love The Who.
I love The Who.
I love Slick Black Cadillac.
Do you?
I think that's
that was a very
song.
Who-oriented song.
Okay. What is this? Is this as part of your fantasy? Is that song just about a fantasy? You make lots of money.
I love cars. I love driving fast. I happen to have a Corvette, not a Cadillac, but
you have a vet.
Yeah.
Slick black Corvette.
See, it doesn't quite.
No, it doesn't quite work. No.
I love driving fast. The whole car is about the whole song is about a fantasy thing where you basically the car's stolen and you're driving, you're being chased by everybody, and you're getting it on in the back seat. Which is the final thing. got the APB out for you, and you're just driving all around the city, and you're doing nasty things in the backseat of the car where every cop in town is after your ass. It's like one of those things where you dream and you wake up and you write it down before you forget it. See, I'm one of the oldest juvenile delinquents in the face of the earth.
Obviously, I think you've demonstrated that wonderfully. Right?
Thank you.
That's great.
I mean, I'm just hoping the law doesn't catch up to my ass.
Not as
Banging my head again.
Yes, there we go. Slick Black Cadillac, Q95.
To survive.
Q-95, slick, black, Cadillac. Kevin DuBrow doesn't drive one yet. You drive a Vet?
Yeah.
Does it have
red.
solid gold hubcaps, though, man?
No, not yet.
You drive a
Because
little red Corvette?
that little red Corvette. Solid gold hubcaps on my Vet would get stolen real fast.
Oh, man.
Like everything else probably will when I get back home.
I know you got to get out of here. You got to be back down at the hall here in a little bit. But
Old
one
sound
question.
checko.
Yeah, so man, you got to sound good tonight. That's all there is to it, you know. So you got to do it. But one question before you go. In this interview with Zach, you mentioned that you still can't believe it's really happening. Has it sunk in anymore yet?
I think when it sinks in the way it sinks in with other successful groups, that's when you get lazy, and that's when you get just, I don't know. I don't think it should ever sink in, really. It should always be new, or else you get boring. I think the whole idea of the fact that you can never believe it's happening keeps you going with a fresh attitude. It hasn't really sunk in.
Guaranteed. Kevin DuBrow, believe me, is not a born individual. He's been taking some of the phone calls in between songs here. Got some great phone calls, some very
He's got some great people here in
some
Indianapolis.
interesting comments. It's going to be a great show. And
There's one thing, last thing I do want to say if I can.
Go ahead.
Everybody says, how does it feel to make it so big so quickly and everything? And I got one thing to say about all that, and that is, if not for all the people out there in the United States who are the ones who called the radio stations and requested, please play Quiet Riot, please play Quiet Riot, when a lot of stations didn't or wouldn't, we would not be here right now. And it's not just because we made a good record or the record company helped us or the radio station's been great, but mainly because the kids out there said, we want Quiet Riot. We are the people's choice. We say to everybody, cheers. Thank you very much.
And he's giving you a thumbs up sign when I was at it. Kevin, thanks for coming by, man. Rock 'em good.
You got
tonight.
it!
All right. Tickets available still downtown at the MSA box office. Quiet Riot and Nazareth coming up tonight. Get set. Another guaranteed six-pack on the way.
Q-95 and Sunshine invite you to an evening of shiny metal. Quiet Riot. That'll be anything but peaceful. Quiet Riot. Q-95 welcomes Quiet Riot, rocking everyone in sight. Special guest, Nazareth. Tonight, 7:30, downtown Market Square. Tickets for Quiet Riot still available. Get them at the MSA box office. For showtime tonight. Make sure you get yours. Don't miss the rock and roll event of the year. You might dislike yourself intensely if you do. Quiet Riot. With special guest Nazareth. Tonight, 7:30, Market Square. Sunshine Promotion.
Speculation.
The creation of a speaker which approaches perfect...
WFBQ Indianapolis is Q-95 playing Indiana's best rock.
The next 2 hours with the Moody Blues are brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. Reach for that distinctively clean, crisp taste.